What's up, Multiverse? Dr. Dave here, and welcome to the Geek Lounge. We are continuing our very own Star Wars celebration here on the channel, and today's video is our Bad Batch Funko Pop special. And now, if my memory serves me right, I think the last Funko Pop special we did here on the channel was for Attack on Titan while the final season was airing. Or at least I should say part 2 of the final season, because they've now announced part 3 to come next year. To quickly explain what a Funko Pop special is here on the Geek Lounge, we essentially look at a line and or wave of particular Funko Pops that have already been released. We then discuss rumours and or future releases of those same Funko Pops. And then I discuss characters that I would like to be seen made into Funko Pops from that line, from that range. And this is our Bad Batch Funko Pop special. Now, I actually wanted to do this video shortly after finishing the first season. The first season actually premiered on May 4th last year, 2021. So it's been quite a while since the first season came out. And like I said, I wanted to do the video after finishing the first season. And I picked up these kind of regular pops here. Well, I say regular pops. These are the two Camino versions, and we'll get onto that shortly. But then, as I said with these Funko Pop specials, I always have an idea, and discuss characters that I would like to see made. And I then noticed that the Cad Bane figure was going to be coming out as well as part of the full conventions. I think it ended up being Emerald City Comic Con, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it did come out for New York Comic Con. Do correct me in the comment section below if I am wrong. And so I thought, you know what, let's wait till that figure comes out and, I get it, and then we'll do the special then. And then, of course, they then announced the 5-pack as well, with the Bad Batch characters without their helmets. And now these two figures, or I should say 2 figures, it's actually 6 figures, were part of my ideas for characters that I would like to be seen made. So it was like a double-edged sword, catch-22, whatever you want to call that, where I was like, it's really cool that they're making these figures, but you're kind of ruining my Bad Batch Funko Pop special that I want to do, because these were figures that I was going to discuss that I wanted to see. And so it actually meant waiting for these 2 sets to arrive. Now, this did arrive in pretty good time. I actually got it from Danny and Jazz. I ordered it during their Black Friday sales, or pre-ordered it, I should say, during their Black Friday sales. And it ended up being cheaper than, what it would be here in the UK. I want to say the Entertainer. It could have been the Smith's Toys that was where it was exclusive to. So I actually got the GameStop exclusive sticker, which, if I can get the American exclusive sticker cheaper than I can the UK version, that boring special edition sticker, I am of course going to do it. But then the thing with this, and this was actually my fault this time, it wasn't Pop in a Box fault. When I went to order the Cad Bane with Toad, I ordered a few things from Pop in a Box, and it turned out that I actually forgot to order the Cad Bane, and then it sold out because it was exclusive to Pop in a Box over here in the UK. And I think it did come back, and it's now under like pre-order with them again. But again, I'm not really going to get into things with Pop in a Box because I really have lost faith in them. And I ended up seeing it on Pop Culture in Australia, and I needed like one more figure to. Whenever I order from Pop Culture, I always try to get my order up to around the £130 threshold, because then you don't pay customs on it, and it also then pays for the shipping as well, if that makes sense. If you amalgamate everything to get a shipping cost, then the kind of total that's evened out amongst all the pops means you've got the pops for pretty good prices. And Pop Culture actually have a lot of things that I'd struggled to find here in the UK, particularly anime. And I actually had this one, and it was the last one that I needed to really then do this video. And it actually came, I think it came about a week or so ago. I've actually had the 5-pack for quite a while now, and obviously all of these figures I've had now, pretty much since they came out, at least since they came out here in the UK. Now, before we take a closer look at them, just to get through the, I want to say, I think there's only 2 other figures in these sets that I don't essentially have. I know there is another Wrecker, but that is with the Clone Wars packaging, if that's the right word to use. I mean, everything is now just under the kind of Pop Star Wars line, right? That's where the numbers are. It's just essentially all under Pop Star Wars, but it is with the Clone Wars packaging. Of course, the Bad Batch, the team, did debut during the Clone Wars, during the final season, I should say, of the Clone Wars. And then the other 2 figures that I do believe have this Bad Batch packaging was Crosshair and Hunter here. But these 2, I decided to pick up the Camino versions. Now, were these, I want to say maybe Amazon exclusives, I can't entirely remember, but they actually come with the pins, as you guys can see there. Again, we're going to take them out and have a closer look, as well as a look at those pins. And I think the only difference is that these two are actually battle damaged, whereas the kind of regular ones with the with this Bad Batch kind of like red packaging, red scheme, whatever the best word is, you guys get the picture of what I'm trying to say. Those are not so battle damaged, at least to my knowledge. Again, correct me in the comment section below if I am wrong. In fact, if I actually look on the back of the boxes, I can see there is no battle damage on Crosshair and Hunter. Let me just show you the back there. That is exactly the same, or I should say the same figures, obviously not the same glam shot, on the rest of the figures. And just to show you guys the back of the 5-pack as well, it actually shows them all, again, the glam shot without their helmets on, and then it actually does have the 5 of them there with their helmets on as well, which is pretty cool. But you know what, guys, actually just before the quick look at the pins, there is the Hunter pin. Let me give you guys a close-up of that one so you can see it. Pretty cool to add that to the pin collection. And here is the no, pardon me, I always get them wrong. That is Crosshair, sorry. I always say Crosshair and Hunter. I don't know why, I guess, you know, like, is Hunter like, you know, someone who's always going to hunt things, but obviously Crosshair makes more sense for a sniper. This is, of course, Hunter, the leader of the Bad Batch. The bit on the back there is a little bit loose. Be careful there not to drop it again. Another cool pin to add to that ever-growing pin and sticker collection as well. But yeah, guys, now we can take a closer look at all of these figures. And we may as well start with the ones I already took out the boxes. This is Crosshair. Definitely getting it right this time, Crosshair. These exclusive ones, like I said, I think they were exclusive to Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. I had the ones with the kind of tiny special edition sticker, and they come with the pop pins. I don't know if they were part of that, like, Around the Galaxy. I think they were, because it's both him and Hunter, it then has the Camino in brackets. I'm pretty sure it was the Around the Galaxy ones. But I'm very excited to finally open all of these up, because I've had them for such a long time and I've never opened them up. I wanted to save it for this video. But look at the detail on this figure, guys. I mean, we are coming round to the back now, but there he is holding his sniper rifle. A tiny bit of a bend there on the well, I don't know the part of the rifle, the silence part, the barrel, is that the right word? But as we go on the back there, you guys can see he's got the backpack. I don't think they're jetpacks, actually, are they? Because obviously all the clones were kind of, you know, from Jango Fett's DNA. So, you know, I mean, I know Jango Fett wasn't a Mandalorian, or, you know, there's always those question marks over, you know, what he exactly was. But yeah, I don't think they're jetpacks. I think it's just a backpack. As we are kind of coming around now, some nice scuff marks and things on the back of the helmet. Well, this, you know, talking about Mandalorians, I suppose Crosshair's, you know, helmet is very much like kind of a Boba Fett Mandalorian style helmet with the, what's that piece at the top that comes down and helps him to aim. And speaking of aim, he's kind of, and his name, of course, he has a crosshair there over the right part of the eye of the visor. That is pretty cool. I love the armor as well. And yeah, like I said, it's a grey background. I'm pretty sure these were part of that Around the Galaxy range that they were doing. And this one in particular was on Camino. And then Hunter up next, the leader of the Bad Batch. Again, battle damage on these exclusive ones. It's a very, very cool helmet. This one looks a lot more kind of Stormtrooper-like in its design, but again, the color scheme there is really, really cool. The light greys, the dark greys, the reds. He is holding a pistol as we are starting to go round to the side. I just, yeah, really am enjoying the detail on these figures. Like I said, I hadn't pulled them out of the boxes, and I've had them, you know, for a very long time, over a year now. Well, is it over a year since the show finished? I can't entirely remember about that, but it's almost a year that I've had these figures now. As we go around, again, a backpack. I think the backpack is exactly the same as Crosshair's one. Yeah, I'm just kind of comparing it. Maybe the scuff marks and things on Crosshair's is a little bit more than on Hunter's here. But as we swing back round to the front, again, just really, really cool detail on these figures. Happy to finally take a look at them. And next we have Echo. Again, it's a really cool looking figure. I love that little skull there, you know, on his chest piece, if you guys can make that out. This mask, I was trying to think, what am I saying, mask? Helmet. Isn't this more like a like one of the drivers or pilots. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Again, nice detail on there. They didn't do any of the rest of the figures in that like Camino range, even though they're all there, you know, battling on Camino. He's got, obviously he's missing his hand, right? So he's got the hook thing. There's probably a more kind of technical Star Wars term for what that is, but I think he can kind of hack into things and things like that, if I'm not mistaken. As we are going around with some really nice detail there on the helmet. I mean, I suppose there are scuff marks on this one, but it's not kind of like that sort of metal scuff style marks that we saw just now on the other two figures. Again, a backpack. His armor, it almost kind of reminds me of almost samurai like, you know, on Echo, the way the bits kind of come down the shoulder pauldrons as well. Holding the gun, as I said, as well, in his left hand with that hook screwdriver type thing in the right hand. It's just another really cool figure with some really, really awesome detail. And next up we have Tech, who is double gunning there with two pistols, as you guys can see. This one has a really kind of unique look. Well, you know what? They actually all have unique looks when you think about it. Isn't that part of the joke, you know, with the clones? Because where they said like the Kaminoans were basically saying that they're bred as soldiers. They're all the same. And then when the kind of Clone Wars show came out, you know, each one had its own characteristics. Some even had different personality traits. So I guess the Kaminoans were pretty wrong there. But I think it's more kind of like the color scheme for Tech is quite different as we are going around. I love, again, that skull piece. It almost looks kind of digital-like there on the side of his head. He has the, I guess, are the antennas coming up as well as we are going around. But yeah, like I said, his suit's a bit more of a lighter grey. I guess when we're going to see Wrecker in just a second, maybe his is also of that kind of similar colour vein scheme, whatever the correct term is. But yeah, it's all of these figures, they have really cool detail to them. I think Funko did a really good job. As we are coming back round from the front, of course, Tech, really known for those kind of tech, almost steampunk like you know, goggles. The yellow, which is pretty cool as well, because you can kind of somewhat see into his mask. I love how the visor is up though as well. That's a, you know, a nice little touch as well to add to the character. And yeah, just another really cool one that, you know, again, I'm happy to take out the box and finally take a look at. And last but certainly not least, we have Wrecker. And I say certainly not least because he was one of the most popular characters from the show. Look at that helmet, guys. The design on the helmet, it is like really so menacing. I mean, Wrecker, the big badass, but almost kind of like a softie at heart as well. You know, it's again another cool figure. Like I said, that detail on that helmet is amazing. He has, was it like a shotgun that he had? You know, shotgun style in Star Wars. I think it was, as we are going around. As I mentioned, his suit, I mean, it's probably not as light as Tech's suit is, but it's, you know, it's probably a little bit lighter than the rest of the team as we are going around. There's some nice detail there on the back of his backpack as well. I think it's like a skull and things. I can't even quite make it out myself. I'll try and go closer up for you guys as we are swinging back round again. You know, the colour schemes. There is a skull there on the left pauldron as well with that. I think, is that like those circle and square bits, the design as we're going back round the front? It's on there, and it's on, it was on Echo as well. Was that like a symbol specific to them? Is it like Batch or Clone 99? I really should know. I really should have looked up before. But yeah, it's another really cool detailed figure. And I figured we'd do the team again in the exact same order, this time with the helmets off. If I'm being completely honest, the body molds are probably the same. I mean, I'm looking at this one. Obviously, the Camino one I had with the helmet version, it's like a little bit darker, has some different scuff marks and whatnot. Probably because, like I said, it was an exclusive and it was a little bit different. I guess we'll see with some of the others when we get to those. As we are going round here, he has the grey hair, as we know he has in the show when he has his helmet off. But yeah, if I'm looking at the back here, guys, again, it is pretty similar to the other figure. Again, different scuff marks, I think, because you know, this one, well, I suppose the 5-pack is a GameStop exclusive, and then the one with the helmet was that, again, think it was an Amazon exclusive as part of the around the world things, because that was a Camino figure. But as we swing back round to the front, I mean, there's not so much detail, I guess, here with his face. Maybe that's a bit unfair because he does have the crosshair tattoo there on his right eye, which, you know, kind of corresponds with his helmet as well. But yeah, there's not, he's kind of one that doesn't have as much detail as some of the others. Well, maybe I'm kind of thinking Tech probably doesn't, but you know, we'll get to Tech in a second. Speaking about great detail without the helmet on, that's what this Hunter figure is all about. Hunter, aka John Rambo, that's really what he reminded me of. Is that, I think it is a tattoo, right, that's on his face. It's almost kind of like a skull. We obviously have that skull there on the red bandana as well. Again, you know, if I compare the body to that other figure, there's maybe some variations in the scuff marks and kind of the color scheme, but I would imagine that the bodies of these GameStop exclusives, the mold, is exactly the same as the ones with the helmet. We're literally just seeing the figure without the helmet on as we are going round. Yeah, I mean, again, guys, looking at the other figure, comparing it here side by side, it is pretty much the same, just a slight variation in the color and scuff marks. I love how the bandana there at the back, you know, the headband is tied up as well. That is pretty cool. The hair does actually come over the backpack as well as we swing back to the front again. Yeah, as I mentioned, that skull. I love how the little bits of hair also come down over the bandana. You know, it's just really, really cool. Hunter was an awesome character. And yeah, can't wait to look at the rest of these. And Echo is next up, guys. Again, going to the body, it just seems to be a slightly lighter color than the other ones that I had. I don't know, you know, whether there's an exact reason for that, but the mold is exactly the same. The pose is exactly the same. The Echo figure, though, it's another really cool head mold. You can see those marks he has there on his eye and cheek as we are going round. He has the, well, I don't even know what they are, the bits in the head, the bit that goes round his head and into his ears because of all the kind of damage and everything that he has, you know, had to him or done to him over the course of both the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch. Again, looking at the back, I mean, you know what? The detail in the kind of leg pieces, leg shield, leg guards, whatever you want to call them, it does look a little bit better, I have to say, on this particular figure. But yeah, not too much difference apart from the kind of lighter paint job, like I said. But yeah, swinging back round the front, like I said, that kind of bruising, like his face is a lot like paler than the others, and the kind of bruising, the marks there again on the left eye and the right cheek, very, very cool. And next up is Tech, and you guys can probably see what I meant in terms of this one being the most boring with the helmet off. I don't know if that's necessarily being fair, but you know, Tech doesn't really have any of these sort of distinct features on his face. He has this kind of receding hairline, probably a bit too much like myself, to be perfectly honest. You know, most of the detail really with Tech is all in his helmet and his gadgets and things like that. Again, comparing the body, we may as well do it. We've done it on everyone. I think this one is the closest I've seen so far. Looks almost, well, actually, you know what? The backpack is different. The one with the helmet, it has two lines going across, and then, you know, two horizontal lines and then two vertical lines there. The vertical lines on this backpack are actually just really at the top. They don't come down to meet the horizontal lines there. That is a little bit interesting, and kind of like some computer stickers or nodes or whatever on the backpack as well that isn't on the one that has the helmet. That is a little bit interesting. But yeah, as I said, guys, it really is just, it just looks like anyone, a Joe Bloggs generic kind of head with a receding hairline on the body. But I guess that's kind of what Tech is without his helmet, right? And then we have Wrecker, and look at that, guys. The scarring is absolutely amazing. I love the white eye as well. I mean, if they didn't do that, that would have been so stupid, because he, of course, well, I assume he's blind in one eye, but you know, if anyone does know if he's not entirely blind or whatever, I assume he is, do let me know in the comments section below. Again, as we're going around now, let's compare the suit to the other one. I think this one looks, I mean, there's maybe some more scuff marks actually on this one. The kind of paint scheme is not so different. I wanted to check the jetpack as well. Why do I keep calling it jetpack? The backpack. No, I mean, that pretty much looks the same again. And maybe it is a little bit lighter than the one with the helmet. But yeah, I'm not really seeing any differences On this one, we have the skull on the side there, but yeah, the detail there in the scarring, it's brilliant as it kind of comes around there. Even the ear is mangled. Look at that, guys. That's just pretty sick, to be honest. He has the kind of stubble beard as well. Very, very cool. And yeah, I mean, this one, probably between Wrecker and Hunter are my two favourites in terms of the ones without helmets. And of course, we can't forget Omega. She is a member of the Bad Batch team as well. The only thing, I feel this pop is a little bit boring. They could have done something else with her, but we are going to be discussing that, well, you know, probably in the next 5 minutes on this video. But yeah, it has that kind of headpiece that she has. I don't know if there's a correct term or whatever for it. But the rest of the outfit is the typical Omega outfit that we see. But she's just really standing there in a very sort of generic pose. I mean, the left arm is out a little bit. And as we are sort of swinging around, I mean, some nice-ish detail there in the back of the hair, but again, not really a lot going on. So yeah, as we go back round, as I mentioned, she does have that wrist device there on her left wrist, on the left arm, and you know, that's all it is really to it. It's otherwise a pretty generic pose, and yeah, I do think they could have done something a bit better, but like I said, that's coming up very, very shortly. And then the last figure is Cad Bane, guys. One thing I will say is that I am going to reveal a pretty big spoiler for the Book of Boba Fett in just a few seconds. So if you haven't seen the Book of Boba Fett and you don't want things to be spoiled, I would suggest skipping to the timeline at the bottom of the video right now. But yeah, guys, this figure is very, very cool. When I first saw the glam shots, I did think the helmet, the hat looked a little bit weird, but then when kind of looking over some of the shots from the Bad Batch, maybe it's not as weird, but it's certainly a bit of a different variation as we are going around. He has the two pistols. I think isn't he on a mission to capture Omega, I think, right? And he comes across Fennec Shan as well. As we are kind of going round now, we see the back, how those kind of, I guess are they breathing pieces? Again, I've never really read too much into the kind of makeup of Cad Bane. You know, even though I say I'm a big fan of his, I just like the character and the voice and whatnot. He then does have, I think it's, what is it, Todo? I always thought it was Toro, but it's Todo 360, the droid down there. It's quite funny because that is like a little, well, actually, you know what? I was about to say it is a little bobblehead in itself, but it's not. It just does kind of move a little bit if I push it. In fact, if you push it a bit too hard, it probably will snap off the base. As we are coming back round to the front, you know, he's just a real iconic character. I'm a big Western fan, so to see this kind of badass bounty hunter-like guy, you know, I think it's just really cool. Love the outfit. And as we mentioned there then with Todo, guys, the big spoiler coming up now. So again, skip ahead 10-20 seconds in the video. Cad Bane does meet his demise, or supposedly so, at the end of the Book of Boba Fett. But there's still that thing on his chest which is shining. And that's where a lot of people said, is he then calling you know, Todo to come and kind of assist him and, you know, I don't know, give him life or whatever. But I guess only time will tell. I really hope, you know, he's not, you know, gone, because, you know, to then introduce him into live action and pretty much kill him off very, very quickly, I think is a bit disappointing. But you know what? Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and the rest of the awesome team that make all these really cool, awesome Star Wars shows on Disney Plus, they deserve our patience, so let's see what happens. And now what we normally do next on our Funko Pop specials, guys, is discuss the rumours and or confirmations of new Funko Pops coming out in the line. But for the Bad Batch, I've actually seen neither, unless I am mistaken. If so, please do let me know in the comments section below. So I'm actually going to skip this section and move on to one of my favourite sections of our Funko Pop specials, and that's where I discuss characters that I would like to be seen made into Funko Pops. And now I'll grab my laptop because I did make the list earlier, and I have to say the first few are things that I'm not necessarily sure that I see them ever making. I mean, they may not make any of these, to be perfectly honest, but the first kind of, what, 4 to 6 characters I think are ones that I don't necessarily want to say boring, but like, I mean, let me just get into them and you guys, you'll see what I'm talking about. First up is Fennec Shand. Now, Fennec Shand is actually a really, really popular character. Now, she does actually have 4 Funko Pops that are already out. She has that pink Valentine's version. I'm not really into those, to be perfectly honest. There is then the kneeling one that came out as part of well, I was about to say the Book of Boba Fett line, but everything's the Star Wars line. It's just with the Book of Boba Fett packaging. There was then the standing version that was from the Mandalorian packaging. And then there is the TV moment with Boba on the throne, which was also from the Mandalorian package. It is, of course, the end credit scene, or after credit scene, whatever you want to call it, from the Mandalorian Season 2. Now, all of these figures, what they have in common is that she doesn't have her helmet on. Now, she does have the really kind of cool, if you've ever seen those figures in detail, the kind of hair pieces that they do are really, really cool. But I would personally like to see Fennec Shand with the helmet. I think that would be, you know, a pretty cool figure. We haven't seen it. The helmet's somewhat unique in that you can see the eyes a little bit, and I just think it would make for a cool figure, and she is a popular character. There is that scene when she is talking to Omega where she has the helmet in her hand. That could be pretty cool, but it does kind of give Funko that easy job of just doing the same, you know, headpiece as well, the same headpiece mold. So, you know, I prefer one with the helmet on, I should say. And the next up is Vice Admiral Rampart. And when I said boring earlier, I mean, boring's not necessarily the right word, but I do just feel this pop wouldn't pop, you know, for lack of a better word. You know, it would be very similar to the Grand Admiral Tarkin figure in terms of the, you know, the look, even the kind of pose. I mean, he stands with his hands behind his back, you know. I guess the head mold would be a little bit different, but he is, you know, one of the main antagonists of the show. At least he was in the first season. So I could kind of see them making it, but, you know, not entirely sure. But yeah, if they did, like I said, I think the hands behind the back pose, similar to how they did the Black Series figure, you know, that's probably what I go with. And then another 2 characters that would be really interesting are Nala Se and Lama Su, the Kaminoans responsible for the Clone Army and, of course, the Bad Batch. Though I can't really ever see these being made. I mean, we don't actually have a Kaminoan figure, even though they, you know, they played a pretty big part in the Star Wars universe. My thinking for that is because they have these really long neck pieces, and then with Funko Pops, because of the licenses, Star Wars have to be bobbleheads. So, you know, the neck, you know, to get the bobblehead, to get the kind of Kaminoan figure, I think it would look pretty weird. I mean, it's a good challenge for Funko if they could pull it off. But Nala Se, when you think about it, you know, she has this, you know, relationship and connection with Omega. She's a big part of Omega's story when you think about it and with what happens. I mean, I won't go into that in too much detail. But again, I think Nala Se could make a good figure. It's just a bit of a challenge for Funko to, you know, make it look cool as a bobblehead. And then the last 2 I thought of things that they probably wouldn't make are really just 2 background characters, but they kind of provided a little bit of a comedic touch. I am, of course, talking about Bolo and Ketch the Ithorian and Weequay, I never really know how you pronounce that. The 2 patrons from Sid's Parlor who always seem to be getting into a bit of a mess. I could kind of see it as a 2-bag eventually, maybe from like a, you know, convention exclusive or something along those lines. But yeah, they don't play a huge part in the story, I guess. But like I said, they are those background characters, and they are in, I think, like 5 or 6 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I decided to add them to this. But of course, the next character on the list plays a major part, and I've kind of mentioned her name already. I'm, of course, talking about everyone's favourite Transdoshan. Yes, I am including Bosk in that. Sid from Sid's Parlor. Sid obviously ends up helping the Bad Batch quite a lot. I didn't really say there were going to be spoilers for the Bad Batch, but, you know, you guys should have really known that already, so apologies if I kind of spoiled something there for you guys. I mean, Season 1 did come out a long time ago, so give me a break if so. But yeah, Sid played a big role, like I said, helping the Bad Batch. So I think, you know, we really do deserve a pop of Sid. You know, whether it's you do it with the staff, or of course that energy bow. Did the bow have a name? I can't entirely remember. That she gives to Omega. But again, that is my leading to the next figure. And if you hadn't guessed, that is Omega with the bow. I mentioned it earlier in the video that this Omega figure that we currently have now, to me, it's very boring. It's a very generic pose, and she has that energy bow. Again, there may be a name for the bow. If there is, please do let me know in the comment section below. I just think the bow looks really cool. You could do her kind of holding it, but before it even comes out for that energy pose, or well, energy, why am I calling it energy pose? Before the energy string and things are drawn. But I think it would be better like that, and you could also make those glow in the dark. I don't know if there has been glow in the dark pink. trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, black light, I suppose that's not quite glow in the dark, but you know, that figure could be really, really cool, and I think we do deserve it. And next is another lovable droid that they have created in the Star Wars universe. I am, of course, talking about AZ345211896246498721347. AZ for short. That was quite a mouthful. He debuted, of course, in the Clone Wars where he was helping out Fives, and then he ends up being a kind of member, or, you know, helping the Bad Batch and especially Omega. He's, like I said, a really lovable, really cute droid. They seem to do that so well in the Star Wars universe. They create really, really likable droids. And, you know, I think I would like to see AZ made into a Funko Pop format. I was kind of thinking, though, when I was looking at Todo earlier, is that the same kind of droid? I think he looks a little bit similar to AZ, right? I can't entirely remember what the droid's name is, but I think an AZ in Funko Pop format, similar maybe in size to like Wooly or the Mo figure that they've made from the you know, the Wooly line, that would look pretty cool. And one of the main ones I would like to see is Captain Rex. He did make a couple of appearances in the Bad Batch. And the reason I say this is because the other two Captain Rex pops that we have are now pretty expensive. You do get the Old Man Rex pop, as I call him, from Rebels. I mean, that's about 50 odd quid now. That's still quite a lot to pay. But then the 2018 New York Comic Con version is now going for over £300. It is a grail, and it is a very cool pop. I never really got it back then, which is a shame. It's, you know, far too expensive to really get it now. You could have Captain Rex in that same outfit because, you know, he does wear his regular normal outfit, uniform, whatever you want to call it, but it probably would be a little bit too similar to the 2018 Comic-Con version. So that's why I actually think Captain Rex with his poncho would look pretty cool. You could have him holding his helmet maybe by the side, just in case people were like, we're not too sure exactly who that character is, because I suppose the head mold is just going to be like a bald man, right? But I think that would make for a very, very cool pop. And the last one on my list is more a bit of fun than something I would definitely like to see. It is Wrecker with Lula, the Tuca doll that Omega gives back to him. I think that could make a pretty cool looking figure. Again, they would then probably use the same head mold. Well, I guess you'd have to do it with the helmet off. Could you do it in a way that he looks happier? I don't necessarily know, with those battle scars. But another radical idea that actually just came to me now is that they could maybe do a Lula Tuca doll Funko Pop by itself. You know what? I could really see them making that, and making that as a Comic-Con exclusive. And that is just about going to do it for our Bad Batch Funko Pop special. Whether any of those ideas I had do come to fruition, only time will tell. Bad Batch Season 2 does have a release date of the 28th of September 2022. It will be over 6 months between the Season 1 and Season 2 premiere. It's quite a long time, but, you know, it is what it is. Guys, first and foremost, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend with me here on the Geek Lounge. It is very much appreciated, and I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If so, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Drop some comments below. Did you guys enjoy the Bad Batch? Did you enjoy taking a closer look at all these Funko Pops? And let me know what characters from the Bad Batch you would like to see made into Funko Pops. And I'll plug it in almost every video, and I probably will going forward. Guys, we are continuing our very own Star Wars celebration here on the Geek Lounge. Plenty more to come, so make sure you stay tuned for that. What's the easiest way to stay tuned? Simple. Subscribe. Hit click, smash that subscribe button, and enable those notifications so you don't miss out on any of that future content. Guys, thanks again for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Peace out, nerds!